Hey guys, GameBoy3800 here once again. We're back with another CRD beta test video. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. We're showing off for the first time the CRD training truck. It's fairly simple, just some plexiglass on the side with CRD training truck on the side. And if we look in the skin here, we see it's under the naked chassis body. And shell design, CRD training truck. I'm sure you can make this say whatever you like your name or someone else's name or whatever. It's good to go. As well, we also see something brand new to the axles. Here we see limiting straps. These are done by Blaze. The mesh and all the animation. Pretty sure that's all him. And let's go ahead, get ourselves a nice relative view of this to see them in action here. This will be cool. I haven't done this yet. Ready to see this? Now I have no idea where I'm going, so if I'm just driving around aimlessly, I apologize. But here you can see they are in fact fully functional. Let's do a big jump off the middle here. You can see them tighten up there to keep the axle from falling down too low. In real life, limiting straps are used to keep the shocks from just falling out, because they can do that. Now, especially with these heavy tires and axles, they can easily do that in real life. So now we got a little bit more real life here in BeamNG. I gotta find my cameras. This is a 4x4 thread-on map by Scratched-At, I'm pretty sure, so I'm just here because we got some other things to look at based off of my other packs and stuff. Because I'm not only showing the limiting straps and the training truck, both are very cool in their own right. But I've also got my own stuff. We'll just leave this here. That's its new home. Next, we move over to Hushpower. This is because I have retuned both the semi and the bus engines. They are now much happier to rev. They still have some momentum carried with them. But it's now easier for them to rev, and it should make them a little bit more drivable. They're still just as heavy and still just as turbo laggy as before, but now the engine at least can kick up instead of just being nothing until 2,500 RPM. You can see it's a little bit happier to rev up for sure. Despite this being a very low revving tune, we're still able to keep our speed up and pick it up just as fast. Let's go ahead and send her off a jump here. And we'll let that be its new home. And you saw it a little bit before, but here is a new project I was working on. This is a tribute to Monster Max, WhistlinDiesel's truck. We got the V8 front-mounted diesel engine, and it's got a pipe stack out the hood of the Chevy. That is awesome. I'll put more holes in hoods of other bodies But this is the first one I wanted to do because WhistlinDiesel was one that was actually requested a few times. The Monster Max truck. And now here it is. And yep, looking at it from internal view is as crazy as ever. I did this by giving it a custom exhaust pipe and by giving it custom Lexan to have a hole in it, and obviously there's a hole in the hood as well. So I had to use the cutting board quite a bit for this one, but it's working pretty good. It's not bug free. I found the exhaust can just like start going in different directions. I don't really know why that is. I'll experiment with it before release and hopefully fix it. And another problem is front-mounted diesel engines, I guess with all the extra weight, have a lot more extra force going down on them, and coilovers just kind of die. I don't know why. Oh, this is going to be a good impact here. Look at that. Didn't even plan for that. Got the light bars up top working as well. And we're just making a graveyard here. We're going to keep adding to it though. Why? Because we're going to go ahead and spawn up another vehicle over here. When I showed off before, Afterlife, there's something new to the electric motor I've been working on as well. Might take a second here to load. I got a lot of mods. There we go. If we load up the parts menu here and go to the engine and transmission, you will see that we have a new 2-speed transmission option. This is just for people who like the 2-speed that we had before. You can leave it in first gear and it just won't care. First gear takes you up to like 75, 80 miles an hour still. But you can also just toss it in second and leave in second, just like you would normally. Just purely for those who just like 2 speeds better. The 1 speed spawns by default. And you might notice here that the limiting straps do go on to old existing tunes by default. So everything will have them unless you specify them to not have them. I specified the WhistlinDiesel tune, the Monster Max tune, to not have them because from what I could tell I didn't have them in real life, so I took them off. They are just found in the actual parts menu. Other than the 2-speed electric gearbox, nothing else has changed with the electric motor. Next we can go ahead and just spawn up just anything here, so Air Force Afterburner will do. And this is one of the last things I was working on. Take a look here. We go to the engine and down here to the transmission, we'll see we have a new option for continuously variable transmission, a CVT. CVT in a monster truck, that's right, I figured it out. It's not too good, it's just something stupid. Now if you don't know what a CVT is, the CVT is not really a gearbox. It's more just a torque converter mounted to another torque converter. And what that means is it's a belt-driven variable length timing thing, and it can increase or decrease the size of one end of the belt or the other, and this gives it theoretically an infinite amount of gear ratios to be the most efficient and to best put down its torque. And I have made it slightly tunable. If we come over here, we see we have a minimum gear ratio, so this is how high top speed you have. Lower, more top speed. Higher, more acceleration. And then target RPM. This is what the engine will try to stay at for a given gear ratio. So we saw before it was trying to stay at 7,150 RPM. Try to do something lower like 6,900 RPM. Let's take a look at what happens here. So we have lower gear ratio and lower RPM target. I guess taller gear ratio is the correct term. You can see here once we get off the launch phase, it went straight to 6,900 RPM and stayed there. And because this track is actually not too good to show off its top speed, is there any place on this map we can do that? Does not look like it, so we are going to go to the Void. It's not too often we go out here, but trust me, Void is a fun place to be. If you're ever anywhere and it's not the Void, you're doing it wrong. So once we get off the launch phase, you can see we stay at 6,900, 7,000 RPM all the way up until, I don't know, like 150 miles an hour. Yeah, there we go. Now the revs start climbing because that's the limit of the gearing. But you can see for the whole time we're staying at a very specific RPM. And then as we slow down, it's still trying to hold those RPMs, and that gives us engine braking, a lot of engine braking actually. Way more braking than what the brakes usually give. And I guess these wheels and axles are not meant for that much braking force, so that's why they were shaking so much there. If I let off the gas here, you can see it's still trying to hold that RPM. And now we're just coasting. And then we start to slow down after a bit. Now we get some of that engine braking power. But yep, that's a CVT. I'll keep playing around with it. It's nowhere near final, it's just something I wanted to see what I could do. When I first put it in game, it was actually off-wheel drive because every time you get off the power, it would judder and like shake the whole truck. I get that's a thing that CVTs can do as they constantly adjust to try to find the perfect gear ratio, but you know, it was just too much for this application, so I had to smooth out like 95% of that. And that makes it a little bit less responsive to upshifting and downshifting. Well, I say upshifting, downshifting. It's in drive gear, it doesn't do that. It's just a different option. You can put this on the Ford and Merlin engines. You can see it did a little bit of work there. I find this works best on keyboard actually. When I was testing on my laptop that I made this on, playing with the keyboard was actually pretty cool because, you know, keyboard is a little bit different than controller. It's already limited in its power delivery to begin with, and I think that helps with the CVT. So if you use a keyboard, maybe this transmission is for you. That's about it. We got the brand new training truck, limiting straps, and we got the WhistlinDiesel tribute truck. We got the retuned diesel engines, and we got this pretty cool map. I don't know when this map was made. It's by Scratch that. It's a new Throwdown map. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it is before we head off, so I can properly credit it. 4-wheel Throwdown, made by Scratch that. Check it out. It's on the BeamNG.Drive website. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed all these new things, then please do go ahead and leave a like, favorite, comment, share, and of course don't forget to subscribe as well. As for when these will be out, I have no idea. I'm going to try to put my pack out alongside CRD 2.2. So, you know, add like an extra week on top of whenever 2.2 comes out. And that's when my stuff will likely be ready to go. My stuff, you know, all the add-ons and stuff. Oh well. that's it for now. I'll see you all in the future. Goodbye.